Am I qualified for this job? So when you look for jobs online, it's really difficult to know what skills you have and do you meet the skills for that job. And I come across a lot of students who have difficulty articulating what it is that they've learned in their schooling. So I think it's really important to first assess the skills that you've gained through school and also some of the skills that you naturally have. So I would suggest that you take time and be specific. Write out some things that answer these questions. What am I good at? What feedback have I received from others? What do they say I'm good at? What did I do well as a child? What sets me apart from my peers? What courses or subjects do I excel in? So when you're taking your coursework, it's really good to listen to your energy, so to speak. If there's a course that really excites you, that's saying something. So that could be an indicator that that's a career direction that you should go in, and or it's also something that you probably do well. You want to ask yourself, what unique skills have my courses taught me? So take some time to reflect on these questions and really dive deep, because the deeper that you go and the more specific that you can get about knowing yourself and understanding your skills, the better prepared you'll be for understanding the skills you have that match the job, also writing your resume, and also being able to articulate your skills in an interview. So take some time for self-reflection. The other way to assess your skills are to go through your syllabi. I had somebody provide me their accounting class syllabi, and you may want to check out the objective section. So all your syllabi should say something along the line of, this is the objective of the course, or these are some key things that you'll learn in the course. So I went through, this is an accounting informations class. The objective of this course is to help the accounting major understand the development and use of accounting information systems for managerial control and external reporting and so forth. It gives a list of what the student should be able to gain understanding of. I went through and underlined some of these things that a person should probably keep in mind. This is the new skill set that you're gaining if you take this course. System analysis and design, documentation, flow charts, modeling, relational databases, querying with SQL, Microsoft Access and Excel, data analysis, organization, risk control issues, and so forth. Take your syllabi, go through it, underline some of those key things that you learn, and keep your syllabi so that you're able to remember and keep track of all the specific skills that you're gaining. Another thing that you can do is go through your textbooks. If you see the table of contents, it'll outline what each chapter is about. These are things that you've learned. Okay, it sounds obvious, but sometimes it's really hard when you finish your course. It's hard to remember all those things that you learned. Here's an example, right? So you'll look through it and you'll see things like data modeling, sales and collection business processing, integrated projects, and so forth. Great examples of what you can glean from your textbooks. All right. So I know that sounded kind of obvious, but sometimes people forget. And I know it may be like last year or 2 years ago, and it's hard to remember all that you've learned. So keep your syllabus. And if you don't have it, you might be able to find it through your email interactions, or maybe your classmates, or maybe even your professor might still have copies of your past syllabi. We're going to talk about the different types of skills. So when you're reviewing a job description, employers look for 2 types of skills mainly. They look for hard skills and soft skills. Now, the first and foremost thing that employers tend to look for are hard skills. And so if you have those, you want to be able to identify them. So what is a hard skill? They're tangible skills that you've learned. Sometimes they're quantifiable, but they're skills that you've gained through training, school, and work experiences. And they're skills that can be easily proven. So they might be technical computer skills, analytical skills, marketing, writing, grammar, language, project management, accounting, cinematography, etc. Soft skills, on the other hand, are non-quantifiable. They tend to be the more people-oriented, interpersonal types of skills. They may include things like communication, active listening, ability to work in a team and independently, empathy, adaptability, hardworking, creative, reliable, proactive, self-starter, critical thinking. You may write something like, well, I'm reliable, and that's great, but that's not something that I can quantify. That's not a tangible thing, right? So that's considered, and it's valuable, mind you. You'll see, like I said, job descriptions will list both hard skills and soft skills. So you want to be able to include both of these in your resume. But look at the job description to see if you have these skills and to assess whether you qualify, right? So you want to also look at the job description to see whether you qualify for a job. So as I mentioned, they have both hard and soft skills, but also the job description is your roadmap to whether you're qualified or not for that job. This is the key place where employers are going to list all that they're looking for in a candidate. So it gives you a quick snapshot of the job. Sometimes it allows you, the way it's phrased, it allows you to read between the lines as to what they're asking. Now, recruiting they are like the salespeople for the organization. They want to present the organization in the most positive light. And so they will phrase things within the job description that sound really positive and happy. And we'll talk about how to read between the lines as to what they're really asking for. Job descriptions provide you a sense of the company culture. They help us how to tailor our application and our resume and help us to prepare for an interview as well. So when you're applying for a job, you want to go to the job description, adapt your resume, put in some of the keywords, hard skills and soft skills into your resume to match the job description. And we'll go into that in a little more detail. It helps you to identify some key words and add that to your vocabulary. So as you start reviewing job descriptions, you'll see some keywords over and over again. It also helps you to identify where your skill gaps are. Same thing, you look at a job description. If they're asking for a certain software over and over and over again, and you don't have that skill set, that's an indicator that that's a skill that you need to learn to do that specific job. When to read job descriptions. So obviously you're going to read it in your initial search. You want to see if you're compatible with that job. You also want to use the job description when you're writing a resume and cover letter, and you want to personalize your cover letter to that job description and adapt your resume to that job description. Before you submit, this is really, really important. So the job description will give you instructions on how to submit your application. And you need to follow those instructions, because sometimes if you don't follow those instructions, an employer will see that and immediately dismiss you for that job. An example might be they want you to submit a cover letter. If you just submit a resume and you don't submit a cover letter, you're not following instructions. So you want to review the job description for the instructions. Also, when you get called in for an interview, the roadmap to that interview, again, is the job description. They're going to ask you about the key responsibilities and your knowledge and ability to do those key responsibilities that are listed on that job description. So job description they vary in format, but they consist of some main areas. One is the title, the qualifications, the experience level, responsibilities. There's an About Us section, which talks about the company and the culture. And I was mentioning the recruiters really want to sell their company as the best place to work because they want to attract the top talent, right? And then there's usually a section that talks about the benefits, and sometimes they'll list the salary. Again, this is all about attracting the top talent. They want to say, hey, if you work for us, you get these benefits. So reading between the lines. So as we talked about earlier, recruiters like to paint a positive picture. And so they will phrase things in a different kind of light. So they may say, hey, we offer flexible hours. What that really means is that you might work nights and weekends. And they might ask you to work overtime as well. They may offer ping pong and free snacks and free soda. But what that really means is that we're giving you all this free stuff, but we have no health insurance or retirement. They also may say, hey, we're thriving in a fast-paced environment. What does that really mean? You'll likely have a lot of demands placed on you, and you'll have to adapt to that change quickly. A lot of times executives will change their mind on something, and boom, 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 you have to be able to switch. You drop a project and go on to another project, or they want the way you're doing something to change, or you're also supporting multiple people. Opportunities for growth. Of course, everybody wants that. If they're offering that, it doesn't mean this, but it might mean that your pay will be low. So they're trying to attract you. Hey, we may not be able to pay you that well, but we're going to give you lots of experience. Just keep in mind, that doesn't always mean that, but keep an eye out for that. Must be experienced in Java, Excel, and Photoshop. What that really means is that you may be doing the job of 3 people. So in the Bay Area particularly, employers like for their employees to wear multiple hats. They like you to be able to do a lot of different things. All right, so the way that job descriptions are structured are you will see a key responsibilities area. And typically, the most important things that you need to do in that job are listed toward the top. So this is a communication specialist role. There'll be like ability to write clearly, concisely, and accurately with attention to detail. Demonstrated ability to turn technical information and documents into reliable, user-friendly materials. If you go a little farther down, you'll see that toward the bottom, you'll see more of the soft skills mentioned, ability to work collaboratively and effectively with agency staff and other agencies in the public, ability to communicate effectively, both orally and in writing, experience managing events, and so forth. So there is a question about when should I apply for the job? So there was a study done by Harvard. And in this study, they said women typically don't apply for jobs unless they feel they are 100% qualified. Men, on the other hand, apply for jobs when they meet about 60% of the qualifications. And so it's not that women were less qualified, it was that there was a confidence gap. So many of you, whether you're male or female, may not apply for jobs because you don't feel that you're qualified enough. You may lack the confidence. So the golden question, how much do I need to qualify for this job before I apply? I would say roughly about 60%. 60% are higher. Nobody is going to meet 100% of the qualifications. You want to ask yourself, can I do this job? And do I want to do this job? So there's no such thing as anybody matching a job 100%. Recruiters like to throw out a lot of things, a lot of responsibilities into the job description. Whether somebody can do them or not, they are hoping to get what's known as the purple squirrel. It's called a purple squirrel because it doesn't exist. Purple squirrel is a term used to find candidates with the precise qualifications, the right education, experience, and so forth. Okay, so sometimes they throw this out there hoping to find that person, but they know that they're not going to find somebody that matches 100%. Truth of the matter is, if you did match the job 100%, you're probably overqualified for that job. So what if you're underqualified? Well, so there's a couple of things. First, you can search for jobs that meet your skill set. And you might try to look for jobs that have assistant or junior or associate in their titles. You can also use that as an opportunity to identify the gaps. Where do you need to grow? You can use internships or you can try volunteering to gain experience so that you can be more qualified for these jobs. You can also filter the job descriptions and look for experience level, and you can choose entry-level jobs, and you'll have a listing that comes to you on that experience level. Okay, so when you look at the job description, you want to make sure that you are able to identify the skills. So you have a skill A, skill B, and skill C. And you want to make sure that on your resume, you're listing those same skills that you can do that match the job description. It's like a one-to-one match. So to help you do this, I want to tell you about a tool. It's called jobscan.co. It's not com, but it's co. So what JobScan does, it helps you to identify where your resume and your job and the job description, where they match and where they don't match. So you upload your resume to one box, you upload the job description to another box, and then it does a one-to-one comparison. And it will show you hard skills and soft skills that you may be missing and also where you may match. So here was an example. The resume was missing Kindle Fire, operational analysis, Android experience. So if you had those experiences, you want to add them to your resume so that your resume matches the job description. So try JobScan. It also will highlight the soft skills and will give you lots of suggestions for improving your resume to make sure that you match the job description. But also it's important to use it as a tool to identify the skills that you need. So check it out. I think you get 5 free scans. Somebody told me you can clear your cache and it'll give you more, but I haven't tried that. But try it out. It's a fantastic tool. It'll help you identify your skills. All right. So let's take some time to read through this. I'd like to hear your opinion about this job description. I want to know, what do you think is important? So this is a youth program specialist, part-time with the YMCA. And you can put your comments in the chat, or you can just go ahead and take yourself off mute. I'm going to read through this and we'll go through this together. The program specialist will assist the program lead with planning, implementing, and evaluating youth workshops in areas including technology, arts, multimedia projects, and leadership development. Okay, so that's kind of broad. That doesn't tell us the specifics. But when you go into the duties section, it says serving as a teacher's assistant to instructors during workshops, developing graphic content to market upcoming workshops, designing campaigns on themes of substance abuse, education, and mental health, updating workshops and events on the YMCA website using Wix, assisting the YMCA team in creating program schedules, maintaining program-specific social media accounts, supporting YMCA staff with developing podcasts, emailing parents about workshops, and sending out reminders, completing other duties as required. What are some things that jump out at you about this job description?
So this job is actually looking for a teacher's assistant.
That's right. That's right. So what do teachers' assistants do?
Like developing graphic content.
Mm-hmm.
And then you must need to use that Wix.
Yes, very good.
And also help to create the program schedule.
Uh-huh.
And then maintain some media accounts.
That's right. So would you consider those soft or hard skills?
Yeah, that'd be harder skills it
That's
requires.
right. That's right. So somebody said designing campaigns, This job suggests that employees can expect to do multiple different tasks. Very good. The most important things employees will do are the first few bullets. Very good. So if I look at this job description, the first bullet is kind of vague, right? As helping the teacher, being a teacher's assistant. So being a teacher's assistant usually involves helping in the classroom. Sometimes a teacher will have the assistant grade papers or provide the necessary things that are required in the class. So passing out pencils or using whatever they need for erasers, or getting whatever supplies they need for the classroom. The other thing that I see a lot in this are marketing types of skills, right? So as you mentioned earlier, right, they want somebody website. They want somebody specifically who knows how to use Wix. They want somebody who uses social media accounts, right? So you're this person, and podcasting, oh my gosh, they want somebody that has this kind of social media background. So when you go through these job descriptions, think about that. Think about, what am I really asked to be doing in this role? Okay, so let's move to this next slide. Okay, so here are some qualifications. They tell you the key duties. Now they're telling you about the qualifications. So what are some hard skills and soft skills here? They want somebody who's currently pursuing or have completed a degree in sociology, education, communication, marketing, creative arts, or other directly related educational programs. So that's pretty broad, right? So that's kind of a good thing. So it means that a lot of different people with a lot of different backgrounds could meet the requirements for this job. They want somebody with experience working in youth. So if you don't have that experience, how can you get that experience? Just go ahead and throw it out. Any ideas? Volunteering. Absolutely. There are lots and lots of opportunities to volunteer for youth. And so we have the ICCE program here. Sorry, Joseph, to put you on the spot, but if you have that link, could you put it in the chat? It's a community service group here on campus that allows you to volunteer for community services. So it's the ICCE, and you can look for that if you go into the SF State webpage. You can look for that. Just put in ICCE, and it'll give you opportunities to volunteer and to get credit for that. Okay, so let's see. So they want somebody who has interests in technology, arts, media, specifically having skill sets in one of the following. So they want somebody who has digital media production, arts and crafts, filmmaking, photography, broadcasting, and podcasting. So they want a creative person, right? Are those hard skills or soft skills? Go ahead, throw it out. Hard skills, right? Experience with Microsoft Office Suite. So for many of you, you know Word and so forth, so great. If you don't have a lot of experience with Microsoft Office, please, please, please get experience with it. You can find free online tutorials on how to use Word, how to use Excel. They're a must in the workplace. So also, if you get familiar with calendaring, that's great too. So here they want somebody with experience with Canva. Canva is like a video editing kind of tool. They want somebody familiar with social media applications and website editing, excellent computer, cell phone, iPad, and internet skills, effective interpersonal and communication skills. Is that a hard skill or is that a soft skill? Soft skill, you got it. Okay, effective time management and ability to multitask, ability to work weekends and evenings. There you go. See, they kind of hide that toward the bottom. Ability to work under time constraints in a fast-paced environment. Ability to communicate well with people of diverse cultural, professional, and experiential backgrounds. And then here they say experience with Adobe Suite is a plus. So Adobe Suite, if you're a creative person, Adobe Suite is pretty much a must. So that has Photoshop, and it has in design and all of that. So very good. So I wanted you to get an idea of going through and seeing the detailed experience. Now, when you look at something like this, you should be able to go through, if you can print it out, great, or if you have an electronic version, go through and highlight the skills that you have and see how much you match that job. And if you're roughly around 60%, even if you're 50%, I would say go ahead and apply, because some of these things you can learn. The other thing I want to say is use it to identify your gaps. So if this is the type of job that you want to do, you can say, you know what, I'm seeing Adobe Suite pop up over and over again. I probably need to learn that. And so that would be on your task to learn how to do that. Okay, ideas for skill development. So your major, your academic major should be developing you in the career direction that you want to go. So if you're not quite sure what skill direction or what job direction you want to go, meet with us, because we can help you to refine where you want to go. So a lot of people, they think, oh no, I'm in the wrong major. We can help you with that to find the right major. We'll give you some self-assessments to understand where your interests are and so forth, and we can help you get a little more focus. LinkedIn Learning has some awesome, LinkedIn has grown over the years, so it's a networking tool, but now they've also added learning modules in there, and you can use that to learn all sorts of things. Coursera, Skillshare, Khan Academy, there are a lot of online learning platforms now. So there's Code Academy if you want to learn coding. Skillshare is for creative things. Coursera and Khan, they have a variety of different types of things you can learn. Check those out. Sometimes some of the courses are free, sometimes they're not. So you just want to keep that in mind. You can also find a mentor. So on our CSLD website that Joseph submitted earlier to you, you can find under resources, there's something called Gator Connect. And what that is, it's a platform that allows students and alumni to connect with one another. So sign up for that, Gator Connect, and you can find an alumni that will be your mentor. Okay, there we go, online on our CSLD website. You can also get online degrees and certifications. So I was talking with somebody yesterday who was interested in project management. There are different levels of project management, for instance, and you can get online degrees and certifications for specific things such as project management and so forth. You can also read books around various topics. So we have a fantastic library here. Check out the library, read books on certain topics, go online. The San Francisco Public Library has a fantastic career resource as well. Check out the online resources, read, do your research. Okay, so I know we walked through a lot of things. And I gave you a lot of information. So what I want you to walk away with, first, I would love for you to go through, find 10 job descriptions and take notes of the skills within those. You know, either print them out, highlight them, or have electronic copies, highlight them, take notes, right? Tailor your resume and your cover letter based on those job descriptions. Okay. Lastly, what a lot of people don't think of is to think like a hiring manager. So when you're going through your application and you're reviewing your resume, ask yourself, would I hire me? Do I have the skills to do this job? What other candidates are out there who might have similar skills? Am I the most qualified for this job? Are there other people out there who have skill sets that I don't have that I'm competing against? Think like a hiring manager. Would you hire you? So you want to present yourself in the best possible light as you possibly can. And by doing that, you match your resume to the job description. Okay, so I'm just curious, how many of you are looking at job descriptions now to assess the skills that are being listed. All the time. Fantastic. Good for you. So the best place is, oh, nonstop. Wonderful. Okay, so it's all about research and knowing what's out there. And you will also know, for those of you who are looking all the time, you'll notice that one job can have several different names. So it's a good idea when you are going onto a platform such as Handshake, you're looking for jobs there, or you're going onto Indeed, to have an understanding of the specific skills, because job titles are different across companies sometimes. So if you want to work with Adobe Suite, you can put in Adobe Suite into Indeed or into Handshake, and it'll give you a listing of a bunch of different types of jobs with different job titles. Okay, that's why it's really important to know your skill set. The other thing I want to stress, it's important to know your skill set so that you can articulate your skills, because you will come to a point in an interview when you will be asked, how are you applying these skills? They'll say, give me an example of a time when you used Adobe Suite. Give me an example of when you worked in a fast-paced environment. Give me an example of when you had to work in a difficult situation with a team. And you need to be able to articulate that. So start by writing out your skills. Like in the beginning, we talked about some questions. I'll send you a follow-up document with those very questions in there. What am I good at? What skills do I have? And so forth. So you want to take some time to reflect on those and be as specific as you possibly can. Okay, I want to make you aware of all of our social media presence. So we have email, so you can contact us through email. We also have Instagram. We have LinkedIn, or LinkedIn site. We have Twitter. You can call us. We have our website, CSLD. So you can reach us multiple ways. And again, we have drop-ins, so be sure to check us out. And oh yeah, well, I'm going to be sending out the slide too. So I'll be sending out the slide deck. So do we have any questions? I know we covered a lot. So do you remember the assignment? Do 10 job descriptions. Any questions out there? Feel free to put them in the chat or take yourself off mute.
So the assignment is to do 10 job description. Where should I submit it, or just we keep it and treat it like a practice?
Yeah, treat it like practice. Do it for yourself. But I do want you to do it because I know you have your schoolwork. So I know you have a lot to do. But I would like for you to take some time, find 10 job descriptions that you like, and go through and identify the skills that you have versus the skills that you need.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Do you remember the JobScan website? Jobscan.co? Definitely check out that website. Okay. Any questions? Don't be shy. The VMOC lab is for resume. Yes. So the VMOC is our new tool. We're going to get launching that very soon. So that's tomorrow. And you can, it's through Zoom, and it's for resume. So you upload your resume and it scans your resume and helps you to improve it. What's the main adverse effect for going to an interview that you're not qualified for? Well, so they probably won't call you in for an interview if you're not qualified. So what they do, how the process works is a lot of people apply for a job. Then the recruiters scan the resumes, see who's qualified. And then they will typically have an initial screening. So you may get a phone call that lasts 30 minutes. That will be the first interview. And they will ask you about your experiences and it'll be, tell me about a time when you did this. Why are you interested in this job? And they'll ask you some common questions to see if you're qualified. So if you misrepresent yourself on a resume, it's probably going to show up in the interview. So you don't want to misrepresent yourself. You don't want to say you have experience that you don't have. That will just reflect badly on you. And if you're not qualified, you will probably answer those interview questions very poorly. Okay. Okay, we have Gia Lynn. Go ahead.
Hi, yeah, I'm Kathleen. Then my question is, I'm going to have an interview soon, and I already have a phone interview with HR, and they say they will have another Zoom interview with the department manager.
Fantastic.
So I want to ask that how it will look like, and what the manager would like to know about me, and what type of questions they may ask.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You made it through the screening. That means they're really interested in you. So first and foremost, you want to dress the part, because even though it's on Zoom, you want to look professional. Secondly, we talked about the job description, right? Go through the responsibilities and make sure that you have examples of the type of work that you've done. So they will ask you questions like, tell me about a time when you did this. Tell me about a time when you did that. They're going to look for key skills. And again, the job description is your roadmap. So look at the job description and be sure that you can speak to the skills that you have that are in that job description. I also want to tell you about our interviewing tool called Big Interview. I mentioned it earlier, and it's a fantastic tool. You can find it on the CSLD website. You go to resources and then Big Interview, and it will guide. There's a training module there that asks that will talk about several of the key questions that are asked during an interview, and it allows you to practice so you can record yourself responding to some of the key questions and watch yourself. Okay, so check out Big Interview and study the job description. Okay, we have Angela with their hand up.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. My question is, I used to work in a medical field, so I have medical field experience. And I went from job to job based on recommendation. So I never had to sharpen my resume or look into this. So this was a very good insight for me. The second question is, I changed my major to psychology. So now I'm looking, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me?
I'm having a hard time because the baby in the background. So you're in the medical field.
Sorry, I'm in a cafe. 1 second. Let me change my. So I'm in the medical field, and now I'm trying to look for internship, and I don't know how to make my resume.
Mhm.
So now I have all the experience in the medical field, but none from psychology. What would you recommend in this case? And I do have a lot of experience from medical field.
Just in a different area. So you're changing careers, right?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
So, right. So first off, your medical background will give you a lot of experience that we call transferable skills. So a lot of the soft skills that we mentioned, working in teams, communication, so forth. So you want to make note of those skills. Now, regarding your career transition, again, you're learning new skills within your academic career. So in your classes, you're learning new skills. So you want to highlight those skills that you're learning because that's new knowledge that you have. And it's all about the spin, right? You want to take the present skills that you have that are transferable and highlight those. So again, it's hard to know without a specific job. But go through the job descriptions and highlight the current skills that you have, and then make sure that you highlight the knowledge that you're gaining. So you can, on your resume, you can highlight courses taken or projects completed, or you might have volunteering opportunities as well that will help you gain experience in the direction where you want to go.
Okay. My question is, like, since I have all that experience from medical field, and now I'm making my resume, and if I add all of them, I feel like it will be 2 pages or and a half. So
Right.
how would you recommend it to shrink it into like one and kind of like match that description?
Right. So we do try to get resumes to 1 page. You can go 2. While I would de-emphasize the medical experience, I was a medical transcriptionist and I completely changed. So I de-emphasized the medical transcription. I did it for like 14 years, right? So I de-emphasized that, but I wanted to show that I had a work history. I wanted to show that I was reliable. I knew how to work in a corporate environment and all of that. So I put the job listing, I put the minimum qualifications, and then I built up at the top of the resume, I built up the new knowledge and coursework that I've gained. So I gained all this knowledge through class projects, through academic learning, through volunteering. I really went out of the way to volunteer. And I put that, the key word is relevant. So you want to put relevant experiences and knowledge and tie that into the job description. So use your job description again as the roadmap to identify the skills that you have and highlight those as they pertain to the job description.
Got it. Okay. Now because I have a time trying to figure it out how am I gonna make my resume. Okay, perfect. It makes sense now.
Yeah, and if you would like to make an appointment with any of us for resume help, by all means, go on to Handshake, make an appointment. We're happy to work with you. And then also be sure to check out the VMOC lab tomorrow, and they'll show you how you can use VMOC as we get ready to launch that.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions out there? Great questions, great team. Like seeing all of your faces. All right, so you know where to find us. We're on Handshake. You can book time with us on a variety of career topics. If you need some help identifying your skill set, by all means, reach out to us. We're happy to help you with that. And be sure to attend our future events. We got more CareerEdge events coming up on all sorts of career topics.